I'm so excited to be here with you today. In this presentation, I'm going to show you the secrets to conscious entrepreneurship so that you can unlock the keys to manifesting abundance in your life and in your business. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Before we dive in, I want you to know that my goal is to help you see your business in a new light, see what's truly possible, and show you how to live the life of your dreams. What I'm about to reveal to you is occulted knowledge that has been hidden away from humanity and used by secret societies for thousands of years. It's time for humanity to understand this knowledge so that they can manifest the reality of their dreams, and I'm excited to help you do that. With that said, parts of this knowledge may go against program beliefs that you have within your subconscious mind, and this may also trigger your mind to try and challenge the knowledge I'm sharing with you. That's a normal response. Just observe those feelings and come back to the teaching that I'm presenting. In the end, it will all come together for you, and you'll also begin to understand this truth in your own life and business. So I want you to see me as your guide. I'm not a guru, I'm not a master, or anything like that. I'm here to help you on your journey, and everything comes from a place of unconditional love. So before I show you these secrets, it's best that you know at least a little bit about me and my journey. I'm an awakened conscious entrepreneur, and I'm really here to help you grow. I grow as you grow. We are one. And I want you to understand a little bit about me so that as we go through this, you can keep it in perspective of where I came from too. I was an entrepreneur at an early age. I started fixing bikes in my garage at age 8. At age 11, I started a landscaping company with my good friend, John, called J&J Landscaping. At age 14, I started working at McDonald's, learning all their systems. Their systems are absolutely amazing. Their food is poison. Their systems are amazing. And by the age of 16, I was basically running the entire McDonald's, even doing managerial duties, but I was too young to be called a manager. So I learned a lot in that process. I was also a cook at a local restaurant. I started a window tinting business. You can see one of my business cards there, Shaded Perspectives. I even had a pager back then, shoot me a page. But no, I've done quite a bit. From there, I was a personal trainer in New York City. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and I lived in New York City for a short amount of time. And I was a personal trainer there. I really loved fitness and also studied sports nutrition in college. I left New York City. I went to Southern California, where I'm at now, close to Malibu, California, and I became a plumber. I spent 4 years plumbing and really learning how all those systems work. And in that time, I started selling supplements online. This was back in 1998. And I started, this was back when Overture was the only pay-per-click platform, and literally Yahoo was the first search engine back then. I was building websites in HTML code back then. So those were the early days of really moving into this online marketing world for me. And from there, I actually did some additional studying and became a computer engineer for Cisco Systems. I didn't work for them. I worked for an integration partner, and we helped companies build computer networks all over the world. And I was the one that was programming a lot of those systems. And I learned a lot about how computers work and how algorithms work, and really, through that process, leveraged some of my knowledge of selling online to really help that business, which was more of a traditional face-to-face B2B, big ticket, high ticket item type of sales process, and really leverage the internet to start to get more exposure for this small integration company that I worked for almost 14, 15 years. And while I was doing that, I really gained a passion and understanding on sales and marketing, both in person and in the offline world, as well as online. And I started doing some consulting while I was still, I actually started as a engineer, and I got a job as an engineer at this integration company, but I ultimately bought an interest into the business and really grew that business quite a bit during the time that I was there. But I really started to enjoy that scaling process, that ability to take a business and use specific systems and processes to scale it up. And so I started to do some consulting on the side back in 2007. I started consulting with other businesses and was having huge success with some of the processes that I had in place then. And in 2009, I started Fresh Rankings, which was a search engine optimization agency, and we were helping people rank at the top of Google for the most important terms. And I was very good at manipulating Google's algorithm because of the knowledge I knew about computer systems and online marketing. And that agency morphed into Fresh Agency because clients started asking me to run Facebook ads for them. When Facebook started to open up the ads platform, this was around 2011. And since then, we've probably spent over 15 million on Facebook now, for our own businesses and for those of our clients. And I have ZenFusion now, zenfusion.com. I've got a team there that really our focus is scaling up Facebook ads. That's all that we do. So if you do run Facebook ads and you're trying to scale it up, we can help you there over at zenfusion.com. Then in 2015, I started SyncSumo, which is a SaaS company, a software as a service company. We connect CRMs and email marketing platforms to the Facebook ads platform, so you can sync up all your contacts there. And I had started one of my first, in the 2000s, e-commerce business, which is now headlampguys.com. And I had a huge success there and have multiple e-commerce stores now, different brands in different spaces. Water softeners, skincare, obviously the headlamp space too. So, but really what I've focused my energy on these days, a lot of my passion is really about my 80-20 business and helping other entrepreneurs scale their businesses. I really get a ton of fulfillment from that process. And what's great is I did build what I call the business acceleration life cycle, which is a 7-step process to exponentially growing a business over and over again systematically. It's a very easy process to follow, and it's been very successful for myself and my clients. But to kind of backtrack a little bit, so that you understand that, everybody's journey is different, and we all have, sort of bumps in the road, right? The road to success doesn't go straight up; it goes all over the place, and we have challenges through our process. In our journey. In 2007, my daughter Amaya, who's in the picture here with my wife Lucy, she was diagnosed with autism, and then in 2008, the real estate market fell out, and I had probably 6 investment properties. I lost everything. I completely lost everything. I had over $1 million in debt, and I basically had to start over. In 2012, I was separated from my first wife and had to start over emotionally, financially, spiritually. So we all have our challenges. We fail in business sometimes. We have personal challenges, and this is just a part of the journey. And so I think it's important that you understand that, no matter what's going on in your world or what you've been challenged with in the past, we all have our own journeys and experiences. And I wanted you to hear my story in just a moment here, and really get a glimpse at where this knowledge is coming from and who I am as a person. I want that to be clear for you. So in terms of results, because this is important, obviously, I'm trying to help you understand how to manifest success and abundance in your life. I want you to also understand what's possible and really what can be done here. And I've been fortunate enough to help hundreds of small businesses, and I've helped more than 25 businesses double or even triple their revenues in 18 to 24 months. The screenshot here with the $1 million in 1 month, that was from my e-commerce business, which is now headlampguys.com. That was an amazing day and month to be able to hit $1 million in sales in 1 month. The other screenshot for nearly $1 million is for the water softener e-commerce business that I have now, and that's just from year to date. We should be well over $1 million by close of business at the end of the year here, and that business was half that the year before. And then the other one here at nearly 3 million is one of my clients that we're doing business coaching for now. I'm doing some SEO work, and my agency's Infusion does their Facebook ads. And when we started, they were doing 300K a month. We've already gotten 800K a month, and we're now hovering at 500K a month. So this is what's possible, and it's possible for you too. All of these businesses started at zero at some point, and I've been fortunate enough to take 6-figure businesses to 7 figures, and 7 figures to 8 figures, and that's kind of the space I like, because I really want to help real business owners. I don't really want to help a boardroom of stockholders. I'd rather help business owners that I know can, hire people, support their local communities, support their families. That's really where my sweet spot is, and really what I get full fulfillment from. So whether it's lead generation, software as a service, e-commerce, I've done it all. B2B, B2C, online, offline, you name it. I've seen it, I've done it, and I've had to figure it out so that I could win in each of those types of businesses. So that's what's possible for you too. So let's dive in deeper. So Nikola Tesla, obviously just an amazing inventor and mind and in his time. And what he said is, if you wish to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And that's really key. Let's hear what Einstein had to say. He said, everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but to get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy, this is physics. And what's interesting about that statement, as we dive into this knowledge, this gnosis, is that at that time when he made that statement, we knew very little about the quantum field, about quantum mechanics and quantum physics. But we've come a long way since he made that statement in terms of understanding the quantum world and how that plays into our reality. And we're going to get more into that as we go through this. But now at this stage, it's really important for you to know who you are and where you are in this journey, right? And in this game of life, as I refer to it. Because if you don't know who you are or where you are, then it's really going to be difficult for you to manifest in a systematic way so that you can see the results and the success that you've been after. So who are you, right? We are each a light fractal of divine energy within a physical body. You're a loving, intelligent creation. And when you were born, you had an insanely high frequency and vibration in this realm where we're at. We're going to talk more about that. And that's why people are so attracted to babies, right? They see a baby and they run up to them and they smile, and it brings out the best in all of us when we see a young baby that's happy and energetic, right? I just use that word, energetic, right? It's because they're putting off a very high frequency and vibration. And as we grow up and we get programming and we go through this experience, our vibration generally drops off quite a bit, right? We go through these different experiences, these different stages of our life, and we end up, many of us end up at the end of our journey, with a very low vibration and frequency. And when you look at older people, in many cases that you see that, right? But this is what it's about. I hope that this picture and this conversation about how energetic and vibrational you are when you come in to this realm through this creation that your mother brought you in through. You're at a very high frequency, but you've been here before, okay? You've been incarnated into this system before, and it's just that you don't remember that you were here. All your memories were wiped before you came into this experience to essentially protect you from those previous experiences. But there's opportunities to learn from those previous experiences even in this incarnation. So with that said, you're really just an avatar. You're a divine, you're a fractal of divine energy in an avatar. And I put the picture from the movie Avatar here because that movie is dropping a lot of truth. And now, from the context of this presentation, I'm sure you'll go back to that movie, and I would recommend that you watch it because it's telling you the truth about this experience and how basically we're just using these avatars, these bodies, as a vessel to move through this journey, this game of life. So this vessel is not really you. The body is not you. You're actually divine energy. And that energy radiates around you in a torus field. You can see that here in the third image. But you're really in a car driving the car. Your light fractal energy is driving this car in this vessel, in this journey. That's why they call you a hue man. Okay, what's the definition of a hue? It's the property of colors by which they can be perceived as ranging from red through yellow, green, and blue, as determined by the dominant wavelength of the light. Okay, so in that definition of hue, and you being a human being, you are a fractal of light, and we are using the vehicle, the body, to experience this journey in this realm. We're going to talk now about we're going to get close here to where you are, but this is how this is put together, and you've probably seen this before, right? So mind, body, spirit, that's how this all comes together, so that you can have this experience as a fractal of light, of the source energy. We are all source. We are all basically versions of ourselves, and we'll talk more about that. But the spirit is the light. It's the source energy. It's that light fractal of divinity that is now coming into a physical plane and a physical body through the blood plasma and the five senses. Obviously, we use the five senses to navigate this vessel through the journey. We actually have six senses. Telepathy is a sixth sense, and we just, through the time and space that we're in right now, many of us have lost the ability to use telepathy, which is a form of communication. We're using language instead of telepathy. And then the brain is how the mind, or your thoughts, attach to the physical body, right? So you have the light body, which is kind of the spirit. You have the mental body, and then you have the physical body. And then in the mind, your brain isn't having thoughts, your mind is. The brain is like a hard drive that is holding your thoughts and holding your subconscious programming and consciously making you aware of what's around you. And that's how the mind, which is a manifestation of the spirit, that spirit energy, is connected to the physical body. And in the middle there, you see that the soul is really what is the physical manifestation of that source energy in your body. So you have soles on your feet, right? You have the soul energy is actually stored in the plasma of the blood, and you have a soul cage that is which is an energy body in the heart chakra, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But that's how this is all connected for you in your body, so that you can operate this vehicle, this physical body, in this experience. So on the left there, you probably see something that, maybe you've seen before, whether you thought it was something that was new age or tied to only yoga, or maybe you're fully aware of the chakra system, which is simply a way to explain the energy body that is attached to us, is in this realm. Okay, it's showing you the different energy wheels that resonates in the body itself, in different areas of the body. But this is also how the physical and energy body is connected. So each of the energy bodies and energy wheels, which we call chakras, are attached to actual glands in the body, right? So in the root chakra, the red chakra at the bottom there, that's where our testes, or the ovaries, the adrenal glands, they're all attached there. As we move up, the solar plexus, you got the pancreas, you got the heart chakra, which is the green chakra, you got the throat chakra, which is blue, which is tied to the thyroid. As we move up, we're into the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and in the third eye chakra. Okay, and then we finish with the crown chakra, which is also tied to the pineal. So that's how the energy body is attached to the physical body. And so our physical health, will manifest through the energy body too, and our energy bodies will manifest in the physical health as well. And that's how this is attached. So it's good to have a deeper understanding of how the energy body is attached to the physical body through the glands. Now let's talk a little bit about your emotions and the color of emotions and how that dictates your reality. So we're going to use this graph here on the right throughout the presentation to help you have a sort of a basis of understanding, how these different emotions kind of rate on a scale in terms of consciousness level. Okay, and really at the end of the day, your thoughts, emotions, actions, and behaviors ultimately create your reality. And so what we've experienced for a long time, and I'm going to show you so you have a better understanding of how long we've been in the 3D reality, the third dimension or the third density, okay, in this particular realm that we're in, is, it's been heavily focused in the lower energy, that root chakra area, where we've really been focused on money, sex, and power. And now there's nothing wrong with that energy level. It's just there's no right or wrong or bad or good or any of that, but it's not serving us from a manifestation standpoint. So what's happened in the third density here, the 3D, is that things have been inverted. Okay, they've taken energy creation and contribution in 5D, which we're going to talk more about here. So if you don't know what those terms mean, I'm going to break them down a little bit further here in the presentation. And 5D is connected to the soul, whereas 3D is really connected to the ego. We're going to talk more about that. But really what's happened in the 3D is that we've taken energy, which is a form of currency. It's actually the ultimate form of currency. And we've inverted that into paper money, which really actually has no inherent value to it. It's just printed. It's actually not even money. It's in the United States here, it's Federal Reserve notes. Notes are actually a form of debt, because in the United States, the United States government went bankrupt in 1933. So there is no real money actually, and so everything we think is money is actually debt. It's more debt. You're paying with debt, and so that's how this form, this divine energy form, has been inverted into what we now call money. And creation, manifestation, within the physical realm and with the bodies, has been converted to sex, which is really more of a physical act between two humans, in the case of talking about the human species. But sex is actually a form of creation. It's just been inverted to this sort of labeled thing where physical attraction and having sex and climaxing and all that has been inverted to what it is today. But really, that's just a form of manifestation, bringing children into the world, bringing versions of yourself into the world to create even further and perpetuate your creation. And then lastly, power, right? So in the 3D realm, in these lower energy levels, power and control has been a sort of a manifestation in the 3D, when really it's about contribution as opposed to control, which is the divine function of the light energy. But this stuff has been inverted. So when a large portion of the human species is now really overly obsessed with money, sex, and power. And that's because their consciousness level is at a very low scale, and they're not really, ascending up to higher energy levels so that they can connect with and leverage the divine energy that's within them. So we're going to dive more into this, but this gives you a color scale. Remember, we talked about the color. The hue man is based on variations of color, and the emotions that you have within inside of you, and the actions that you take are tied to these colors, which represent your ability to manifest in this reality. So now let's talk about where are you. So we talked about who you are, so you're a divine fractal in the physical body. Now let's talk about where you are, where we are together, right? This is really just an illusionary dream realm for your soul's experience. So we are here to learn. We are here to experience all that we can to better understand ourselves. And, they call it the universe for a reason. A verse is like a song. It's a sound. It's a frequency. And there's one verse being played in this particular game of life. It's a torus-based system. It's an electromagnetic torus field system. Okay, and if you look closely at the torus field, if you're in the marketing realm, then you'll see that it looks very much at the top, looks like a funnel, right? Just like our marketing funnel that we always use. Well, we're creating awareness, and then we create interest, and then ultimately they become a lead and become the customer. And in many cases in marketing, we don't talk about the bottom side of the funnel very much. The other side of the funnel, which is another funnel, which is nurturing your customers, turning them into affiliates, turning them into ambassadors for your brand. There's some of that conversation, but visually we don't really show the bottom of the funnel, which is really the expansion and the opportunity to really build relationships with your customers and grow that contribution that we just talked about. And so the energy creation and contribution combination really comes together on the bottom of the funnel. Although in marketing we talk a lot about the top of the funnel. But you'll see here also just reflections of how this torus field is representative in all of nature, right? So even you cut open an apple, it's showing you exactly the torus field and how it works in that piece of fruit. Same around the body, right? The heart is the center of the universe. So everything is as above, so below. We'll talk about that more here. But the human body and everything you see in the physical world is really a copy of something inside the human body. And no different here with the torus field. So the universe is within a torus field, and so is our heart energy. Our body has its own torus field, as so does a tree or an apple or a cell. They all have a torus field because that is how this universe works. That's where you are. It's an illusionary dream realm for us to learn from. Let's see, did I miss a slide? Okay, we're good. And I thought this was an interesting quote, although I'm not a big fan of JP Morgan's control mechanisms. I think his statement here is really critical. He says that millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And this is a very true statement, and this is a part of the occulted knowledge and how society has really tried to make astrology some sort of silly, ridiculous thing, but it actually tells you exactly what's going on in the reality at any given time, because it's based on the alignment of stars and planets. And if you don't have an understanding of astrology, or at least a basic understanding, then you're missing out on the ability to manifest and create abundance in your life that is there for you, brought to you by the divine light, and you just don't. You're not yet in a state of gnosis about how it can assist you and help you. But it's really key that you know that astrology plays a key role of how society and how the individual operates on a daily basis. So this is probably one of the most powerful slides from feedback I've gotten from others, where it's really a breakdown of astrology from a sine wave perspective. Okay, and the sine wave is developed, is created by electromagnetism, which is a part of this electromagnetic system that we live in. And what I don't want you to do is see the word Christ and think this is some religious conversation. It has nothing to do with religion whatsoever. The energy bodies, the planets, that we refer to them as planets, they're actually just luminary bodies that move around. they actually dictate the energy that flows through this realm at any given time. And so now sort of seeing this and seeing that you were born into the age of Pisces, which was still basically the kingdom of the world, which is, being in the material world. The energy that was here in the age of Pisces was still heavily focused on the material things, the material life, the worldly possessions and desires. And we're crossing. This is the cross, right? This is the cross that they're talking about in terms of these allegory stories in the Bible and other scriptures. This is the cross that they're talking about when we move into the age of Aquarius, and the Christ consciousness returns. It's not a physical man named Jesus that's going to come back and save us all. Nobody's going to save anybody. We have to save ourselves through the energy, divine energy we already have inside of us. But what's great is that, and this is so important right now, is because Earth's frequency is rising too, okay, which is helping us all energetically and spiritually ascend into the age of Aquarius. And so, you're seeing this stuff going on. You got the vegan movement, you got people doing yoga, you got communities coming together. This is all because of Earth's frequency rising. It's not some new trend or some new marketing gimmick. It's a movement within the frequency of all human beings. And that Christ consciousness, also known as oneness or wholeness or oneness consciousness, is coming to fruition. So now it's easier than ever to manifest everything that you've ever wanted, because those energies are here to support us. Whereas in previous decades, it was a lot harder to manifest what we wanted into the reality because of this, because of where we were. We came in the dark ages, basically. We're moving into the golden ages, the kingdom of heaven, the heaven on earth. That's what all this has been, in scriptures and other places you've read. And it really doesn't matter. There is no religious connotations here. This is all about the energy that's in this realm. And so understanding where you are as it relates to this sine wave of electromagnetism in this illusionary dreams realm that we live in, it gives us an opportunity to know who we are, where we stand, and where we go next on this journey, and how we can take control and step into our power that we've been basically hidden from, because this knowledge has been tucked away for secret societies, and many of them unfortunately have used them against us to help to try and keep our frequency low, so that they could take advantage of the fact that we were ignorant to this knowledge. And so it's all happening right now, which just opens the gate for you to have huge opportunities to manifest for you and your family and your business and your personal life and beyond. It's just going to get better and better. And that's the good story that I have for you here, is that there's nothing but good things ahead for all of us. But you really got to understand who you are and where you are, so that we can, so that you can start to manifest what you truly want in your life. So let's talk about the rules of the game, what I call the game of life. And that's really what this is. It's an experience. It's an opportunity for us to experience anything and everything. And but there are some key rules, and these 7 hermetic principles really dictate how the game is played to success. Okay, so the principle number 1 is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. So everything starts with thoughts. And those thoughts are manifested through our emotions. They are manifested in the way that we feel, right? A lot of emotion is what generates thoughts. But really nothing is created until the mind puts energy into that creation. So the all is mind. Number 2, the principle of correspondence. As above, so below, right? So below, so above. So what that means is that, you've got opposites everywhere. So you've got everything corresponds to itself. You've got the sun and the moon. Everything is the same. As above, so below. So trying to give you some other examples there. It's really seeing that what's inside of us is actually what we see on the outside, as within, as without, right? So just like you see a tree above ground, well, that tree has the same root system going down as deep as the height of that tree. As above, so below. You might not see it with your eyes, but it's there. The root system holding that tree up is the same length or height into the ground as that tree is tall. So that's also an example of how as above, so below works. The principle of vibration, nothing rests, everything moves. Remember we talked about Tesla and Einstein, what they said. And everything that you see in physical form is actually nothing but cells that are vibrating to manifest what you see. So in this principle, what's happening there is it's telling you that everything is vibrating. Nothing is really actually solid. That is just a figment of our reality and what we think we see with our five senses. So everything is vibrating, and that includes you, right? So that vibration and frequency is very important to this realm. The principle of polarity, right? Everything is dual. Everything's dualistic, and we're going to talk about duality here in just a bit. North Pole, South Pole, right or wrong, left or right, up or down. Everything has its opposites, right? Female, male. Everything has an opposite, and it all is it's all in certain degrees, right? So I'm cold or I'm hot. Well, some people that's cold and some people it's not. Some people, right? So it all has a different threshold. It's all based on the degree or perception in many cases. Principle number 5, the principle of rhythm. Everything flows in and out. The oceans flow. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swings back and forth, right, to manifest in everything. The number 6, the principle of cause and effect. Everything has a cause, and every cause has its effects, right? Every effect has its causes. You reap what you sow. You have free will, and those choices that you make reflect back to you. That's how the system of cause and effect works. And most people are living in effect. They're not living in cause, and we'll talk about that. Lastly, the principle of gender, right? Gender is in everything. You have male and female. You have that even in flowers. You have masculine energy, which is that left brain energy. You have feminine energy and principles. That's the right brain. The left brain is the masculine is linear thinking. We're going to see a picture about this later. It's all linear thinking. And the feminine is very creative thinking, right? And you can see here how these 7 hermetic principles are laid over the rainbow, right? Again, root chakra is red. And as we move up to, I like number 3, vibration, because vibration in the color blue is the throat chakra. And when we speak, the throat is creating vibrations. I mean, you can put your hand right on your throat, as I'm doing now, and feel the vibrations as you speak. And that is the principle of vibration, and it's coming from the throat. So you see how this stuff is all tied together between energy, color, and the rules of the game and how it's played out. And you'll see at the top there, mentalism, right? Just like your head to toe, right? That's what you're seeing here in the color scheme, and it will help you understand how the energy flows in this game. So let's talk about duality versus oneness, because I've mentioned both up until now, but I haven't really laid it out too well. So let's talk about duality, and I mentioned before the third dimension reality, or third density, some will reference it to. And that's what we've been living in for a long time. And you see right in the center here, you see the yin and yang symbol, which is a representation of that polarity and the energy flow in the state of duality. And the white section of the yin and yang is the masculine energy, and you'll see that in the masculine energy there's also some feminine energy there in the black dot. And just the reverse, the black area, the large black area, is the feminine energy with also masculine energy in it. And I think for one of the things to understand is that although you might be a male or a female, the opposite energy is also inside of you. That's why you have a left brain and a right brain. And really the goal of this duality system was created for us to experience these dualities. And we're going to talk about a few of those here that I've got pictured. But and so the duality system is here for us to experience and to have an opportunity to experience duality and see how we observe that and live through that duality, low frequency, high density area of life, just to give us that experience. And but unfortunately, that system of duality has been heavily hijacked, and it's been done through the banking systems with financing and letting people borrow money, and creating the idea that money is scarce and there's only so much money. And if you want money, we're going to charge you interest, which means you basically have to go take someone else's money so that you can pay off your interest. The actual system is it's completely made up in terms of how it works. It's basically a monopoly system that we believe has an exchange of energy to it, and we use it as a form of currency. But when you roll it back and you look at what's actually on these printed dollars, it's basically Federal Reserve notes. It's a debt. There is no money in the U.S. And so these are ways. That's just one of the many systems here. I'm showing you here a picture of the Pope. It's the same thing with religion. That religion has been hijacked by these, or I should say spirituality has been hijacked by religion. They want you to believe certain things, and they want you to stick to their certain rituals that really have nothing to do with actual spirituality. It's a way to control people. And, these people have constructed these systems to basically hijack your energy and to believe their dogma. And we're going to talk more about that. You've got the Republican versus Democrat, right? It's always red versus blue. That's just playing into the rainbow that we saw there, with the root chakra up to the throat chakra, or up to the crown chakra. That's why you see Queen Elizabeth wearing purple all the time. She wants to think that she has the crown chakra energy in her. She's trying to externalize that energy with how she wears her clothes and things. You've got the pharmaceutical industry, right, which is just suppressing, getting you to pay. They call it treatments, right? The word treatment is treating mint, which mint is mental. It's treating your mind. It's actually not even helping your body. It's just treating your mind. Just like with government. Govern means to control, and mint means your mind. It's just mind control, right? So that's what's played out in this duality matrix that we're in. It's a binary system, ones and zeros. If you know anything about computers, you know that it's all about on and off. It's just like a light switch, on, off. Certain sequences of on and off produce actual images that we're looking at, like in this presentation. They produce what you see on a computer. It's simply ones and zeros. It's the binary system, and that's what duality is. But unfortunately, it's created war. It's created police brutality. It's created materialism to the nth degree, where everybody is trying to, buy the next fancy house and big Lamborghini and the next speedboat. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a part of this experience. But it's how the duality has played out, and you'll see this everywhere now. I got the picture here of the guys boxing, and you'll notice now they always put red and blue, right? So it's red versus blue. It's that the root chakra red and the throat chakra blue, and you need to in the way that we move into a new reality, into a reality of oneness, is that we merge those energies. We merge that male and female energy in our brain, and that's why you get the color purple. And that's where you're really getting into that heart space, that heart energy, which is where all of your power really is, and tying the mind, the thoughts, and the emotions to the heart energy. That's what oneness and wholeness is all about. And this is happening whether you want to believe it or whether it really doesn't matter what you believe. This knowledge and what's going on in the reality at this stage is happening, whether you decide to get on this journey or not. It's going to happen. And the sooner you align your energy and frequency to what's going on in the reality, the sooner you're going to see abundance. And the oneness and wholeness energy of the fifth dimension and the 5D is really moving back to what we know is true to ourselves, right? Creating abundance, and a lot of that is through the food that we eat and how we source that food. It's, really engaging with other people and loving other people for who they are and what their unique gifts are. It's using energy healing. It's moving away from pharmaceuticals. It's all about the family. It's building communities that have sustainability and thinking about how do we live together in harmony and peace, and what do we spend our time doing? Are we spending it with friends and family and talking about their experience and our experience with them, and are we getting out in nature and enjoying that and respecting that? That's what the oneness and wholeness energy is in the fifth dimension. It's really moving away from that duality and starting to respect nature again and getting back to the laws of nature, which we discussed through the Hermetic principles, and really starting to enjoy and see abundance in our life. So let's just do a comparison here of duality to oneness. That in the 3D, everything is about division. It's dividing. It's always dividing us, right? They're always trying to present, and I say they, I just mean the actual reality construct. When you're in the 3D energy, you will see, and this happens through mass media, music, anything on a worldly scale that you're seeing and consuming is all about division. You're going to see that now, right? If you watch the news, you're going to see that it's all about keeping you in that low frequency of division. They're going to feed you stories. They're going to play music that divides you. It's going to be based on stories that divide you from others, and you'll see others, whether different color skin, different nationality, different race, whatever the case may be. You'll see the difference. Well, I think this way and they think that way, but at the end we're all just one. It's just one. But in the 3D reality, we've got division. In the 5D world, we've got multiplication, right? As we start to work together and we start manifesting and we step into our own power, we can multiply our creation and our abundance. It's so easy, actually. In the 3D world, we use the ego, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. We use the ego to basically try and present to the world what we think they want to see, rather than being in our true source self and sharing our unique gifts in the 5D. In the 3D world, we've been taught to believe all these things, all this dogma, other people's dogmas. We've read a bunch of books and we believe whatever the book told us. We went to school, they told us, they indoctrinated us with their ideas. They gave us his story. They told us his story, right? Instead of his history, it's his story. It's written by the people that want you to believe that those things existed. And in 5D, we get to a state of knowing, and I'm hoping that this presentation will bring you into a deep state of knowing. In 3D, we were given religion, and instead of religion, we need to really just connect internally back to our source energy. We don't need a church or a group of people or a book to tell us how we connect to our own source energy. It is us. In 3D, we're using man-made law, right? Maritime law. In 5D, I just explained to you the natural laws. That's how we need to operate in 5D. Banking and finance, those systems are going to crumble. They're gone. They're going to be gone very, very soon, and we're going to soon be living in an abundance for all, because we're going to start to understand our true currency, which they've just leveraged. They've leveraged our energy, our labor, to build the banking and financing system, and they sell our labor every day. We just don't even know it. So really understanding that and getting back to unlimited abundance, because we have endless currency available to us through our labor and through our thoughts and energy that we put out every day. Government, again, is mind control. It's basically slavery. We need to get back to self-governance. There's no government that needs to save us or do certain things. We need to govern ourselves. We don't need someone outside of us to govern our thoughts and our activities. We already know what to do. We just need to do it ourselves instead of leaning on governments and other people that say that they're better and they know better for you. No, that sounds like a parent. I personally, I'm an adult. I don't need a parent. I can self-govern myself. In the 3D realm, we're talking about pharmaceuticals. The medical system is completely hijacked, and they're not looking at root causes. In the 5D world, we're looking at energy healing, and that's either through the use of proper foods and diet, or many other types of using herbs and using true energy healing. That's and the word healing is key there, right? You don't see that in the 3D. There is no healing in the 3D, and it's because they just want to sell you things that will suppress your symptoms, and that just ultimately comes back to bite you later. The 3D realm is very materialistic, right? The things that you have, the things it's trying to attach you to those things. And in the 5D world, we're really unattached from material things. We may have an abundance of material things. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with having an abundance of material things. It's just that we're not going to be emotionally attached to them. If those things went away, we're still going to be happy. Happiness is inside of us, whether we have material things or not. So it's going to be less of that attachment to the material things. And in the 3D world, we're always locked into time, past and future, right? We're using the past and, we learned our lessons from the past, and now we're moving into the future. And really we need to be in the now moment. And that's what everything is. Everything is the now moment. There really is no past or future. It's the right now. It's in the moment right now. And we're really moving into that timeless space, that quantum space, as I mentioned before. And in the 3D, a lot of the thinking that's going on is unconscious conditional thinking that came through schools or training or things that the dogmas that came from the 3D reality we were born in, from our parents, parents, right? A lot of it is unconscious conditional thinking, and we really need to move into conscious awareness, right? In the 3D world, it's very intellectual, right? Science, doctors, all these people want to look at very intricate details, but they never back up to see the full awareness of where they are, who they are, and what's going on around them. And that's how we get lost in the 3D, is that we stay stuck in the intellect, and we're always looking for the facts, and we want some scientific study to prove this or that. We already have everything we need inside of us. We just need to back up and consciously be aware of really what's going on. And as we change our mind and our behaviors, then we just naturally see the 5D reality manifest in our life. So let's talk about the ego and the observer. So I love it. Gandhi says, when the ego dies, the soul awakes. And really, again, as I said before, the ego is just the masks that we use in the physical world because we think we can't be our true selves. Trust me, I think my story shows you that there was elements of the ego that I was using in my life before I was confronted with my daughter getting autism. I lost, all my real estate properties. I had $1 million in debt. My marriage was going into the trash can. And it was because I wore a mask. I wasn't being my true self. The ego was getting in the way of bringing my real energy into manifestation and leveraging that energy to do much more than I had previously. But I was operating through the ego as opposed to operating through my true self. And the ego is always trying to protect your beliefs, all that programming that you got as a child from your parents, from schools. And there's nothing wrong with your parents didn't do anything wrong. The schools didn't do anything wrong. But these systems were put into place to essentially control our frequency and keep us in a specific thought process. And unfortunately, the ego always tries to protect that. And it may be even during this presentation, the ego is trying to protect some of your beliefs from the information and the knowledge that I'm sharing with you today. And that programming has been developing since birth, right? I remember I told you you had a super high frequency and vibration when you were born, and as you start to take on this programming and you start to form ideas around everything that you see in the world, that lowers your frequency and that keeps you from your true self. and the ego likes to take over, right, in this realm. It takes hold of your mind and emotions, and it starts telling you what you should be doing because of your programming, because of what you believe. It tries to tell you what you need to be doing in the now moment all the time, in order to deliver the experience it thinks it should have for you. And that's because of the subconscious mind. And again, the ego wants to control. It wants to, keep you in this state that basically reinforces the subconscious programming that you have. But again, just start moving into a state of contribution, and the ego will slowly die. And it's really important that we work on identifying when the ego is trying to take over and do something on our behalf, and that's where the observer comes in. And this is a state that I live in all the time, and a lot of people are really coming to this fruition, understanding this, that you have to be the observer. Remember, you're not the vessel, you're not the physical body, you are divine energy, and so you're able to step outside of the body and at least see the actions that you take and the actions that people around you take, so that you can make better decisions and not let the ego drive the vessel for you. Drive the car, right? You're the driver in the car. Who's driving? Is it the ego or your true self, right? And so being an observer in any given moment, stepping back in your mind, not letting your mind wander with lots of thoughts. You want to calm your thoughts, and really observing from a state of unconditional love and compassion and appreciation and gratitude for the ability to take a breath. Just start there. Start with the gratitude and ability to take a breath, and then you can see everything around you in a different way, and it will naturally change your thoughts. You'll see others as a version of yourself, so you're going to interact with that other person in a way that would support yourself. Now, if you see that others are just a version of you, there are other light beings that are here on Earth and in this experience. But they are just versions of you, because we are all a fractal of the divine energy. And start removing judgment from all your thoughts. Dissolve what does not serve you. So if you're having thoughts that don't ultimately serve you, just when they come up into your mind, you just realize they're there. You observe them. They might be trying to tell you something. They might be reminding you that this is just the ego, but you can just dissolve them immediately. The longer you hold on to emotion, the longer it becomes a part of your reality. But if you can feel an emotion and quickly move on to the next thing, then that emotion is not going to be a part of your reality. So when they come up, and they will, you just observe them, don't judge them, let them dissolve, and when they're not serving you. And when you get to this place and you're starting to observe, you'll just see opportunities to manifest in front of you at every moment. It's unbelievable when you just step out of that ego-centric, hey, I wake up in the morning, I do all these things. You don't even know why you're doing them sometimes. And that's just the ego sort of playing itself out and keeping you going and playing out the programs that are in the subconscious mind. But once you become the observer in your personal life and in your business, huge opportunities are going to open up for you. So let's talk about understanding. I've been using that word throughout this presentation. You're probably like, what is this guy talking about, understanding? I've never heard that. So let's talk a little bit about understanding. At the end of the day, you have free will, okay? In this game of life, you have free will. You can make any choices you want, and those choices are either serving your energy or they're not. But it's important that we take responsibility for our choices. Because we can't really find a new baseline of energy and vibration without taking responsibility for our previous choices and every choice that we make throughout this experience. And you do have a choice. You have a free will throughout this experience. So it's really important that to get to a state of understanding, you really have to start by taking responsibility for your choices, whatever those were. And it could be the choices you didn't make. But it's also the choices, if you don't make a choice, you're actually making a choice. You're right. So you're making a choice not to choose in that moment, right? So, and the thing to know is that you actually already know everything. You just can't remember what you know. So we've externalized and believed that we need to learn from someone else, and certainly we have learned from others in our journey. But all that knowledge is actually already inside of you. And as you get into this state and this higher frequency, you're going to realize that that knowledge is actually there, and it has always been there, and it resonates with you. And that is also a part of what I call understanding. And the problem with the word understanding is that really what you're saying is, when you say, yeah, I understand, you're saying I stand under you. I'm taking your dogma, whatever that is, and it could be something that is serving my energy, but by using the word understanding, you're basically saying I'm under you. I'm standing under you with this information that you just gave me. And we don't really want to be in a state of understanding. That's really being in the state of effect, right? We talked about cause and effect. So understanding is saying, okay, I'm going to be in the effect of your cause. That's what understanding is. In the state of understanding, you are the cause. You're the cause, and you're creating the effects in your reality, okay? Because the knowledge is within you. It's a gnosis. It's a state of gnosis. That's where the word knowledge comes from, is the word gnosis. And when you get to that state of gnosis and that understanding, then you don't have to worry about the choices that you're making. And if you're making them from that state of gnosis within you, then you don't really need anybody else's information. And then at that state, when you can reach a state of understanding in your heart of how, what's the right thing that serves your energy in this game, then that's when you can overstand these other energies that are out there that don't serve you. Okay, that's how you can sort of stay above the pendulum swing of other people's energy that doesn't serve you. Okay, so that's a little more advanced topic, but just you really want to focus on getting to a state of understanding, so that you, inside of you and in your heart and your mind, you know exactly what's right for you. Let's talk about unique gifts and resonance. So once we can get to a state of understanding, then you can really figure out what are your unique gifts, right? So to me, one of my unique gifts is sharing this knowledge with others. That's one of my unique gifts, but it took me a while to figure it out. Really, back when I was running the SEO company, I would just get on the phone all day long with business owners, many of which I knew I couldn't really help with SEO, but I enjoyed talking to them, and I wanted to help them with their business. And it wasn't until literally a couple years ago where I said, what was going on was I was using my unique gifts, which is enjoying, connecting with business owners and helping them grow their business. I was basically doing consulting, business acceleration consulting for them on those calls. And I took all those calls because I enjoyed it so much. So finding your unique gifts turns work into fun. And that's what we really want to do is this work, or we call it business, or we're in the hustle, all that stuff. I mean, it really shouldn't be like that. It should be fun. It should be lots of fun. So it's really figuring out, once you're in a state of understanding, hey, what do you love to do? What are your strengths? What are you passionate about? What do you call fun? Stuff that's fun for you and doesn't feel like work, right? What are other people's strengths around you? And when you get to this is really about that whole element of contribution. When when we're leveraging our unique gifts and we're leveraging the unique gifts of others, then we can create massive momentum in our life and in our business. And so really, and the unique gifts are not going to be written on a resume. They're going to come through experience with those people in your life. And so, but it's a process, because a lot of people, they went to school, they did all these things, and the things that they do in their job or their work or their business isn't really in alignment with their unique gifts. But if they can identify what their unique gifts are, then that's how we can shift into 5D and really see how simple it is to manifest massive abundance in every aspect of your life. It's through our unique gifts. So resonance, right? We're getting back to frequency and vibration. It's like what resonates with you, right? Delegate or delete, I always say. So if you need to figure out, once you've got your unique gifts and you've got that, you're getting closer to understanding your own unique gifts, you've got to learn to delegate or delete. So if there's stuff that doesn't serve your energy, either delegate it to someone else that can be done by someone else that can help you, or just figure out a way to get rid of it completely, right? So these are tasks that we do in the day, right? Anything that you start to do and you're just like, oh, it just drains your energy. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to do this, but I just have to do it. I don't know, like, God, I know it's only going to take me about an hour. Like those moments that you have that you're just like, this doesn't resonate with me, but I still go through it. Write those down. Like find a way to delegate or delete those things that don't resonate with you. It's okay. You don't have to go through every day and go through work, and it shouldn't feel stressful. We've just believed that it has. We got to hustle and we got to work hard and all this stuff. No, you don't have to work hard. You're just choosing to do work that doesn't resonate with you. If you're working and contributing to others, I mean, for me to sit here and be putting this presentation together for you and bringing this knowledge to you, it just fills my heart with joy. It resonates with me. It's what I want to be doing. So it's not work to me. I mean, I could sit here for hours and do this and speak to you and help you grow your business. I really enjoy that. It resonates with me. And everything else, I try and do my best to delegate or delete that and find ways to do more. And when you delegate and delete, right, you're naturally going to find more time and energy to do more of what resonates with you. And this is an area that I've gotten feedback where other business owners have and entrepreneurs have said, it's been really hard for them to be their true self in their work environment because of, they've spent years sort of being, operating through the ego, which really isn't even close to who they are in their work environment. And what I'll tell you is that it's okay. It's okay to be your true self. It's okay to share your new gifts with others. People will resonate with your new energy. It's okay, and if you want to ease it in over time, even though you can't be your full true self, like know that you're working towards that, because literally within weeks, you can be the true self within you in your work environment, and people will resonate with that. They'll be excited to see your new energy, and they'll be magnetically connected to that energy, right? We're an electromagnetic system. That's how energy works. And this resonance will ultimately raise your frequency to the next level, and you'll find a state of bliss and fulfillment in your life. I guarantee it. I've seen it over and over again in my own life and in the lives of multiple business owners. They come in and they're having so much fun doing what they love to do, and other people resonate with that, and they connect to that higher frequency that they're in. So let's talk a little bit about building energy and raising your frequency. So building energy, so many people wind up at the end of their day completely exhausted before, they're just trying to get to bed because they're so exhausted from all the hard work, and they've allowed their energy store, their gas tank, to be drained down so low that they're just lucky that they can make it to the bed so that their head can hit the pillow and they can try and get some sleep before they do it all over again. And that's why you see, that entrepreneurs and business owners and Americans, they go on these vacations, right? Oh, I need to recharge. Good thing we got our 2-week vacation every year, and that's just an example of what humans try and do to recharge their battery, essentially, right? It's the energy store inside of your body. Instead of trying to just do it with your 2-week vacation, though, you can do it with every day, in every moment, changing your actual emotions and the way that you think and the activities that you do each day, so that you can actually start building energy. So when you go to bed at night, you actually are excited for the next day because you've got a lot of energy. Yes, you need to rest the physical body and you need to recharge it, but you're not exhausted. You're actually just fully excited about what tomorrow brings for you because you've been building your energy, and you're no longer allowing negative energy and other energies that don't serve you to drain your energy store, to drain your gas tank. Okay, and you do that through using high vibrational emotions, and we're gonna show you that chart here in a second. You're gonna start to calm your thoughts, slow things down. Exercise. The word exercise it's all about exorcism. It's removing negative energy from your body. So exercise is so important, not only to the physical body, but also to the energy body. It's performing an exorcism on the negative energy that doesn't serve you. So when you know that, and you have that gnosis, and you have that understanding about exercise, you're going to look at exercise in a different way now, that it's helping you clear the energy body and raise and build your energy. Energy nutrition, right? Each one of these slides could be a topic on its own. Each one of these bullet points could be a topic on its own. There's so much misinformation about nutrition and what really generates energy in the body. At the end of the day, humans are frugivores. Humans are frugivores. We should be eating fruit. Fruit has the highest amount of light energy in it, and it's designed for our species, just like the apes. They eat fruit. They're frugivores. We're not horses. We're not cattle. The vegan movement is it's very good, and it is higher frequency than eating meat, which is very low frequency. But in terms of energy nutrition, the way you build energy is with fruit energy. And no, it won't make you fat. That's a misnomer. That's just complete nonsense. So that one alone, it's a shift. You absolutely will shift in energy and consciousness by starting to consume lots of fruit. It's absolutely amazing, and it's transformed my life and the lives of many of people that I know. Meditation, right? Calming the thoughts. Reconnecting with the source self, reconnecting with source through meditation. So powerful. And again, a lot of simple ways to leverage meditation. Even yoga is considered meditation in motion, right? So sleep is a form of meditation, right? So meditation can take the form in many ways, but really knowing it's about calming the thoughts and allowing you to reconnect with your source self can really build your energy. And lastly, obviously, high quality sleep, giving the body an opportunity to rest and ensuring that you're doing the things throughout the day so that you do have high quality sleep at night. This will help you build your energy. So let's talk a little bit about raising your frequency. Here comes the chart again here, right? The scale of color, which is directly tied to our emotions and our mental state. Now, I'm using this seek, learn, do, be, because that is really the process that humans go through in the experience. We're seeking something new that we're interested in. We learn about it, we do it, and hopefully at some point we get to being it, right? But most of us spend way too much time and most of our energy on learning and mostly on doing, right? So, think about it. We were interested, we went to school, maybe we got to decide topics that we really resonated with. Maybe we enjoyed certain sports, we learned how to do them. We did them through school. We went to college, maybe we got a chance to decide. We were seeking what topics and that we wanted to get our diploma. What type of training what did we align with? That's the seeking process. We learned through college. For some of us, I actually dropped out of college. Got tired of learning information. It didn't help me. And then we do it, right? And we never end up really being in that state of just being which we already do, right? So we need to find a way to get back into seeking, right? It's sort of like a little kid. We need to stay in that kid mode of that high frequency and vibration. We're seeking to expand our consciousness, our awareness. We're learning new things. We're doing things like we did as a kid. We're just every day we're learning something new, and get out of that programming and like that. You need to learn this to do that, and we're just caught in the doing tasks because we were taught in school that we should just get to a place of doing. When we get to a place of being and we just be that person and stop doing so much, then we can step back, observe life, experience joy, and really expand the abundance and results that we see in our life. So try and get more into the state of being. Be in that state. Be in that vibrational state. And so that this doing and doing and doing and doing is what's draining our energy. But if you get in a state of being, then the energy isn't drained and you're constantly building your energy. Yep, you might have to go spend some energy in seek. You might have to spend some energy in learning some new things, as I'm teaching you now here. You may have to start to do things differently in your daily life. But at the end of the day, the goal is to get to a state of being, because that's where we step into our power and we build our energy, and we resonate at a very high frequency and vibration, which ultimately delivers massive results and abundance in our life. So some of the ways to do that and really help you in that process of getting to a state of being and raising the consciousness level into these states of love and joy and peace and enlightenment. And this isn't about sitting on a mountain and just meditating all day. That's not the goal of the end result. No. That's I don't want that picture to come in your mind when I say the word enlightenment or peace or joy. This is not becoming a Buddhist monk and hanging out in caves all day. That's not what this is about. It's about having the ability to manifest the reality that you're actually that you have, using your intention. We're going to talk about that next. But there's some steps here that you can take to help you raise your frequency very quickly, right? So a lot of us have traumas from childhood, and sometimes those traumas came through from previous incarnations here. And there's a lot of people with unresolved karma. Traumas that have built up, and those energies stay stuck in different parts of the body, and obviously in the mind, right, too. So there's specific meditation practices. Literally in 15-20 minutes, you could dissolve all this unresolved trauma that you have inside of you. There are techniques to do that. It's very easy. And that will help you tremendously, because you might be taking a lot of the steps in the physical and having the right thoughts and becoming the observer and having a deep understanding. But if you still have old trauma that is still unresolved, and you haven't released that energy from your body, it can hold you back. Releasing attachments or negative beliefs, right? So this might be really challenging some of your beliefs in this presentation, and I want you to let go of those, unattach yourself from them. For me, just an example that most people could resonate with, I used to drink coffee every morning. That was an attachment. I thought I needed to have it. I yearned for it. I desired it every morning. But I don't have that attachment anymore. I don't drink coffee anymore. I might have one because it's offered to me by a friend or something. But it's not something that I do every morning now. I'm not attached to it. I enjoy certain things, but I'm never attached to it, right? So that's the key, is like not being attached to it, not feeling like you're lesser than or you don't have happiness without those things. Releasing those attachments can go a long way. Learning to master your thoughts, right? So this is a practice and it takes time, but you can learn how to do it very quickly, because you're the observer, and you know when the ego is stepping in and when it's actually your true self. Pay attention to your words. They're called spelling for a reason. You're casting spells. Words are flesh. They're magical. You can cast positive spells, or you can cast negative spells, right, on the energy and vibrational and emotional framework that I've been showing you in this presentation. So pay attention to the words that you use. Think about the words you're going to use before you use them, because they do have a cause and effect. Focus on adding value for others, right? This is what everything at the core of what I talk about in business is. We all want to make money, because we believe money is attached to value that we can exchange for the things we want in our life. But at the end of the day, we need to be focused on how do we provide for others, adding more value. So if you're only looking for just ways to make more money, increase your margins, cut your product costs or whatever, and you're not attaching that to actually adding value to the people that buy from you, then ultimately it's going to come back and work against you. It's the wrong frequency. So looking for ways to continually add value for your customers and add value to other people in your life is going to go a long way. Don't allow negative emotions to stay in your mind. We talked about this. Just dissolve them. Observe them and dissolve them. Remove all judgments. So critically important. If you're judging others for their actions, then you're basically judging yourself. And so you need to be that observer and observe with unconditional love. I know I'm getting a little long-winded here, but we're almost to the end here, and this part is so important. Intention and attention. So intention is the seed of consciousness, and this is ultimately how you manifest in this reality, because energy flows where intention goes. Okay, so why is it that you're doing what you do? Right? A lot of us are sort of just going through the motions because we have for years, and maybe we have a successful business and we just keep doing it, but we don't really even know why we do it anymore. Maybe when we started, we did, right? We had a vision and a mission and all that, and we were working every day to do that. But eventually, sometimes we sort of lose and we forget what our intentions are. And this is key. This is a key ingredient to manifestation and the reality. And thinking about, what do you want to accomplish? Why do you want to accomplish that, right? Is it the ego saying, I want to accomplish this because I've been programmed to believe that I need to make $1 million? Or is it actually a sustainable reason why $1 million means so much to you that you can substantiate with your source self, right? Why do you want that accomplishment? And then ultimately, what is your purpose, right? And which is essentially rolls up to, that's why you have this intention. And so just understanding that intention is the beginning of all manifestation. It's the seed. It's the seed that gets planted that can grow when you put energy and emotion to it. And we're going to talk about that. So here's my intention. I intend to bring unconditional love and conscious awareness to as many entrepreneurs, business owners, and other living beings as possible through my thoughts, actions, and behaviors in each now moment, because I want everybody to grow, be protected, nourished, healed, fulfilled, and at peace in their heart now and forever. That is my intention. And the way intention fully manifests is that I put my attention on my intention. So the focus and the energy that I'm using each day stays focused on my intention. I write down my intention. I put emotion into my attention. I take specific actions daily to reinforce my intentions. I speak words that support my intentions. I've built morning and daily rituals, and I've changed my behaviors to fully manifest my intentions. And I make choices every day that support my intentions. And this is a great image here that helps you understand how we can manifest much faster if we start to incorporate some of that right brain feminine energy, and we merge that with the very strong, overpowering male energy. The left brain logical mind into that creative mind. We bring that energy together, the red and the blue, we bring that together into that purple, into that crown chakra, and that is where full manifestation comes into play. And we've dissolved all this negative stuff that's working against us. And it's really important that we start to tap back into that creative mind, which may have been where we started with our business in terms of planting that creative seed. It may have came from the right brain, but it's been largely overtaken by the right brain, analytical, logical, left brain thinking, the masculine mind. So we merge that together, and we can manifest whatever we want. So putting your attention on your intention is critically important. So let's talk about what's most important in the reality in terms of you finding your happiness, your fulfilling all your dreams, and really seeing abundance in your reality is through manifestation. And consciousness is the seed that bears fruit, right? We just talked about that the intention is the consciousness seed, and ultimately that bears fruit. And we talked about fruit before, but it's the best thing you can be putting in your body, and that's why I use the picture. But it really shows you that the way that we manifest is to learn how to go with the flow, right? Learn how to get inside of our, leveraging our unique gifts, having a clear intention, putting our attention on our intention, and understanding that it's not a fight. You're not out to fight your competitors. You're actually trying to find a flow state in your market with the people that you attract, the avatar of people that you attract. And that may be people that aren't at a high frequency, and that's okay. If you have products and services that feed a lower frequency audience, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But just by seeing this presentation and getting this knowledge, you can understand that it's about finding your flow. You're not in a fight. We're not trying to fight anybody. It's not a war. You're trying to find your flow. You want to get in the state of a natural flow, just like nature. Live in the now moment, right? The past is gone, the future's not here, and it may not be here. Time is it doesn't matter. What does matter is how you feel and how you act and how you behave in the now moment. So staying in the now moment is really critical, and you're gonna feel a transition when you get to that place. Find the friction in your business, right? So what I do so well is I help people in their business really find those friction points, whether it's between staff or it's in a process or wherever it may be in a funnel. Finding the friction and removing the friction that's keeping people from saying yes and to getting your value that you have to deliver. So finding the friction is really important in the way to think about how to grow your business and see more abundance in your life. Have an attitude of gratitude. Be thankful for all things, even things that frustrate you and make you angry sometimes. Those things are there to serve you, and being grateful for those things is critical. Again, keep your attention on your intention. It's everything. If you don't put your attention on it, then you can have all the intention in the world and it won't manifest because you're not putting your energy, emotions, behaviors, actions, words towards your intention. Focus on the small things. In so many businesses, I've found that it's not the next big project or the big thing that you're working on that's going to really move the needle. It's really finding those small things, the 80-20. That's why it's 80-20 business. It's based on the Pareto principle, the 80-20, the 80-20 rule, where 20% of your efforts produce 80% of your results. So it's really the small things that ultimately create the biggest change in how you feel, how much abundance you have in your life and your business. It's those small things. So focus on those small things and ultimately deliver more value always for your customers, for the people in your life. Constantly deliver more value because it's a reflection and it comes right back to you. That's how the cause and effect element, the law, works. It all starts with you. We've got to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change that you wish to see in the world. And that is so critically important. We can't see a different reality until we change our own reality in our mind, in our thoughts, and our actions. That's super powerful. And so just to pull this all together, like I said at the beginning, my goal is to help you see your business in a new light. And hopefully now you can see what's truly possible, or at least have a hint of it, and show you how to live the life of your dreams. Now, next steps on your journey, I've got two opportunities for you. They're both completely free. I don't want to ask you for any money until I have an opportunity to talk to you more and get an opportunity to see how I can deliver value in your life and in your business. One, I have a Facebook group. It's called the Awakened Conscious Entrepreneurs, completely free. It's a place and a space, a safe place where business owners, entrepreneurs, marketers can talk about this energy, spiritual ascension that we're all going through. And if that resonates with you and you want to share there and be surrounded by other other loving, unconditionally loving entrepreneurs, we'd be grateful to have you there. Also, if you want to talk about ways to grow your business and improve your own personal life through my business acceleration life cycle, then I highly encourage you to sign up for a free strategy call at 8020business.com. I'd be happy to personally talk to you and talk to you about what you're trying to accomplish in your business and see how I can help you grow your business. I help lots of folks, and there's lots of testimonials there, so you can watch those. And I'm here to serve. So I hope that you've gotten, if you made it this far in the presentation, then I think you resonate with this message, and there's an opportunity for you to see the new abundance that is waiting for you to manifest when you step into your power and you start to build your energy and raise your frequency, and you'll see the life that you've always dreamed about manifest with ease, and it's easier than ever. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope that if this resonates with you, you'll reach out to me and connect with us in the group, and I hope to talk to you soon.